In today's episode, we'll be doing a deep dive into setting goals, which will be crucial for a successful Hyrox season. Do this part correctly and you can achieve personal bests, stay motivated and enjoy training so much more. Or do it wrong or not at all and you'll find yourself struggling for motivation, unsure if you're making progress, and instead of celebrating progress, you'll be left wondering if you're making any improvements at all. Without a goal behind your training and racing, it's pretty much like getting in a car and driving but with no set destination in mind. It's probably something you'd never do, and if you do, you're going to end up in the same place you started. So why does goal setting matter? Setting goals helps with three things: focus, direction and motivation. Setting a clear goal for yourself is going to help with focus. So instead of wondering if you're improving or how you should train, you know exactly where to put your energy. This leads on to direction. Without a goal, it's easy to feel lost. We've all been there, going through the motions, maybe hitting the gym, but not really having a clear target. And when you're training for a Hyrox, you can't really afford to do that if you are wanting to see significant improvements. Your goal provides the roadmap, so every session has a purpose, and that brings us on to motivation. The third reason goal setting is so important. Let's face it, Hyrox is tough. It's long, it's grueling, the demands aren't just physical, but they're mental effort too. There'll be moments you want to quit, but guess what? Your goals are the reason you keep going. In this next part of the video, we're going to be talking about setting exciting goals. Ones that break through any limiting beliefs, and then we're going to create a system to make these goals happen. Firstly though, I want to uncover what you want to achieve, not what you think you should be achieving or what others are setting as goals. This next bit is a task, so you can either do it now or save it for later, but I want you to get a notepad and pen and at the top of the page write, today is January the 1st, 2026. This year has been the best one yet because. Now set a timer for 10 minutes, and in that 10 minutes, I don't want your pen to leave the paper. I want you to keep writing the entire time. Write everything you want to achieve, everything that will make this next year amazing. If you get stuck, I want you to write, I even. This encourages you to think beyond those limiting beliefs and really push that ceiling. What you write doesn't have to be all Hyrox related, but if you're watching this, then I imagine achieving something within Hyrox is important to you and those performance goals are going to pop up. You can give this a go now and pause this video, or you can do it later, but now I'm going to talk you through what to do now you have this amazing list of things that you want to achieve over the next year. So the first thing I want you to do is highlight the performance goals that have cropped up and write them out. It might be something like complete your first Hyrox, maybe it's run a sub 18-minute Hyrox, maybe it's get a PB, maybe it's feel fitter or run faster, maybe you want to qualify for World Championships. With the Hyrox goals you've written down, what I want you to do now is make these into SMART goals. So you've probably heard this before, but SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and time-bound. Firstly, let's go into specific. You need to know exactly what you're working towards so you can say, yes, I did that, or no, I didn't do that. For example, if you say, I want to get fitter, how do you know how to train for that? How do you know that you've achieved that? By setting vague goals, this is literally a sure way to lose motivation quickly. It's also not very exciting. Instead, you want something like, I want to run a sub 80 minutes Hyrox. Maybe you've got some nutrition goals in there, so let's go through a really common nutrition goal mistake that I see. So one being, I want to eat healthily, or I want to be more healthy. This is something that a lot of people want to achieve. But if you just say, I want to eat healthy, what does that look like for you? How will you do this better? A goal instead might be, I will eat out once a week, and the other meals, I'll have home cooked meals with a minimum of 2 vegetables on my plate with a source of protein. Next up, we have measurable. You need to be able to track your progress. You need data to see whether you are improving or not. For example, if you want to run a sub 80-minute time and improve your time from a previous race, you'll need to improve the speed you run at or complete the stations. So you'll need to track that data in those areas to see improvements as part of the system towards the goal. Next up, we have achievable. Now this is where I sometimes disagree with SMART goals. I think it's important to achieve our goals, but it's also okay if we do set unrealistic ones that really excite us and maybe we don't actually get there. It's all right if we fail some of our goals, but it's good to have these exciting, really big goals alongside the achievable ones. So have some goals that you can achieve this year, but also have some longer term goals that scare and excite you. Aim high, but don't forget to take those small steps to get you there. Next up, we've got relevant. Your goal should always be tied to something that will improve your Hyrox performance. Time bound. This is about giving your goal a deadline. I'll complete my first Hyrox in under 1 hour, 30 minutes in the next 6 months. A deadline keeps you on track. It creates urgency and helps you avoid procrastination. Without a time frame, you might just say, I'll work on this eventually. But once you set a date, you book that race, you have a target, and that is powerful. So let's recap. To set a solid Hyrox goal, it needs to be specific, so clear and focused, measurable, something you can track, achievable, challenging but realistic, relevant, directly tied to your Hyrox performance goals, and time-bound, a clear deadline. Before we go into how to set up your systems, ask yourself why. Why do you want to achieve this goal? And what will happen and how will you feel if you do not reach this goal? Write this down. This is going to help you on those days you don't want to turn up. We kind of need a consequence of what happens if we don't reach this goal. Goals are great, but without a system, our goal is just a wish. Let's go through creating a system for your goals. So the systems are the daily, weekly actions that you need to do to achieve your goals. It's the daily habits, the training routine, the nutrition. I'm big on visualization. I don't know if I even said that right. So for the next bit, I want you to imagine the person that can achieve this goal that you've written down. What are the skills they have? What's the knowledge they have? What are the habits that they have? What are they doing day to day to achieve this goal? So version 1 is where you are now, and version 2 is maybe that Hyrox athlete that's competing a few races a season. They're strong, fast, fit, fueled. What is it that they have that you are currently maybe missing? Next, I want you to write down your barriers to achieving your goals on one side. Is it knowledge? Is it nutrition? Is it habits? Is it routine? Is it accountability? Is it motivation? What is it that is currently stopping you from getting from here to here? And on the other side, I want you to write out the resources that you have available. So this might be Naomi's YouTube channel that gives me all the information I need to get through my Hyrox season. So I'm going to subscribe, I'm going to watch. Maybe it's your gym has a coach that specialises in that area. Maybe it's a nutrition guide you've seen online. Maybe it's a Hyrox community group that you are a part of. What are the resources that can help you get over these barriers? Now we have the solutions to what's stopping us. I want you to create a profile of what this looks like to be at that goal. I want you to write down what is that first step that you can make to get yourself closer to where you want to be. What I don't want you to do is think, I've got to do everything right now to get to version 2, to get to where you want to be, because this is just not achievable. It's overwhelming, and you might be able to do it for a short amount of time, but you're quickly going to burn out and not actually achieve this. The best way for you to get to where you want to be will take time, will take consistency, will have pushbacks, but if you take those small steps and you keep taking those small steps, you will make progress and get to where you want to be. But the most important thing is you're going to be making progress. So we want small steps, not one big step. So think about now, what do they do? What is the skills? What is the knowledge? What are the habits? What do they do to be fit, fueled, fitter, faster, stronger? What's the one thing you could start doing to get closer to that? Let me give you an example. Let's say they nailed their nutrition. They know how to recover well from training sessions and can actually run multiple times a week without their legs always aching. So the first step might be including a protein shake after your workout, eating more carbs before training, or getting 8 hours of sleep. Think about what's the one thing you can start to do to get towards that. Once that's a habit, you can then add the next thing. Start small and stay consistent. Your goal is what you want to achieve, but it's important you enjoy the journey and the systems getting you there. So another thing that's important when setting goals is thinking about what are you willing or unwilling to do in order to achieve it. So for example, if you want to get a certain time in Hyrox, you must be willing to go out and run. You must be willing to plan your meals to get enough fuel in. You must be willing to stop doom scrolling and get 8 hours of sleep so you recover. And for some, it might be willing to get up before work to get that workout in. Remember, you've chosen this goal. No one is forcing you, so what you're unwilling to do is totally up to you. And it needs to align with your values, your lifestyles, and how you want to live. If you are unwilling to do certain things to get you to your goal, like getting an early night to fit in a long run at the weekend before seeing friends or before work, it might mean that your time frame to reach your goal needs to move. And that's okay. This is where we need to be realistic with ourselves. And finally, you need a way to track progress and stay accountable. Tracking progress may be through initial benchmark testing weeks and retesting, or setting B races to see how you're getting on. Remember, you can have the best training plan and diet plan in the world, but if you don't have accountability to follow it through, it is pointless. So make sure you are staying accountable. This might be through documenting your journey on social media or getting a coach. To sum up, setting a clear, exciting and smart goal is the first step to a successful Hyrox season. But remember, goals without systems are just dreams, so break down your goals into daily actionable steps, stay accountable, and make sure your goals align with your values and your lifestyle. It's not just about achieving the end result, it's about enjoying the process, embracing the growth along the way. Now go ahead, set some goals, create your systems, create your vision board. Let's make this Hyrox season the best one yet. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And episode 3 will be on how to train for your first Hyrox race. Let me know in the comments what your big goal is for this season. I'd love to hear all about it. Keep up the hard work and I hope you enjoyed this episode.